What is up, party people? Today was fun, right? With those CPI numbers. Everyone loves a morning where the market moves from some sort of situation. um, yeah, I was definitely interested in this morning. When it sold off, it was right near like R3 somewhere up here, and we've got this nice daily, weekly level that it was trying to bust through. And it sold off, and I was just like, maybe it'll come back down to a different range level, and we can play a bounce, or maybe a breakout of that and a continuation of the downside. So I was definitely interested in what the market was going to do, and I ended up catching this bounce on a couple stocks, and yeah, it was fun. So let's chat about that. Let me show you really quickly where I'm getting this level from. I think I've mentioned it before, but if I take a little box and I draw a rectangle right here, we've got this area. And so the bottom of where the level is actually the bottom of this candle right here, and we can see that it tried to break out of it, came back in, it's broken down. It's been trying to get back into this range for a few days. It finally got back in there on that gap up yesterday. And so when we sold off this morning, I was just interested in, like, is it going to bounce off of this? Are we going to lose this? And yeah, I was ready to play that level. That's all I have to say. All right, so let's get to it. So we definitely got that bounce. And then what I was looking at was PayPal. Oops. And oh wow, that is definitely not the chart. Come on, hands, let's do this. So I mentioned this the other day, and I traded this the other day, and it was a really terrible day for me, demons wise. But sometimes you just gotta get back on the horse. So I'm looking at this area on the weekly after the sell off for it to either bounce off of or for a continuation into the range, maybe to the downside. So that's what I was looking at. And if we take it to the 5 minute, we're back at this level again. And the S4 on the pivots is like right around here. So I was interested if the SPY bounced at its range level, then I was, interested in PayPal to a long. If the SPY lost and continued down lower off of that news, then, a breakout, a loss of this level and a breakout of S4 to the downside could have been a good move on PayPal as well. So this could have been played either way, but I was just waiting to see what the market would do. Yeah, and I got a good long entry here. I got some partials along the way, and then I got all out here right as it turned around again. Just there were some bids this morning on the L2 down at 120, and that's what happened the other day when I played it. There were some bids at 120, and like I ended up in like sort of this situation the other day before it went and got those bids, and like I just was having a little moment of PTSD, and I was like, no, I'm just taking my profit on this and I'm getting the hell out of here. So it eventually got up to what my all out target was, which is 125, but that's all right. I got a nice little profit, and yeah. So the reason why I took partials when I did is if I go to the 30 minute. So I'm entering at the higher time frame levels, like the weekly or daily, and then I like to look at the smaller but still high time frame areas for ranges. So we can see that a range is setting up in this area. So I partialed right as we were getting up to the bottom of this, and then we broke through it, and I partialed again, and then we lost it, and I ended up getting all out. But yeah, it was a nice move, and man, the reversal on this could have been really good too, if that was the strategy or your strategy. But some good plays today on PayPal, and then got Microsoft, played that this morning. So I've been watching this area off of the weekly, got right here, and it's just been kind of like hanging here for the past couple weeks. It's offered decent plays off of it a few times. I haven't played it the past couple weeks. Maybe a couple weeks ago I actually played it, but I haven't played it definitely for a few days. It was back at the area this morning after the SPY sold off. So let's get over to the like a 5 minute chart here. So after the SPY sold off, you can see that Microsoft kind of followed that, and we've got this level here on Microsoft that I'm interested in right off of that weekly chart. And yeah, it was a little bit tricky. It took a second to get going, which I was kind of surprised, but this could have been a short too off of this level if the SPY had lost the range level. So I entered in here after we pushed up and held here and pushed back up above the level. I entered, and I was a little far from where I wanted to be. So I thought, I'm not in super huge. If it pulls back to this level, I'll do an ad, and then I'll be in, with a little bit bigger size. But as soon as it lost it, I just got all out and I was like, I'll just wait for it to set up again, see if it goes. And meanwhile, the market actually is moving and pushing. So while the market was moving, I was just kind of waiting for Microsoft. I was like, oh my God, like get up there. The market's going, like, come on. So, I didn't want to take a short on it because the market was pushing up, right? So I want them to align. So it popped over this for a second and I thought, oh, that's the move. So I entered, hindsight obviously is always 2020. I actually, I added here once it did the proper setup, which would be to bust through, kind of come back, test it, and then continue. So I added into it. There are times when I just, I'm a little bit concerned that it might bust through it really quickly and then I'll like miss the move without getting any sort of pullback. So, my size isn't super huge here. So, I entered and then when it held, I added into it. And then I was kind of watching like this range level here from the pre-market. And what I wanted to do was, partial at previous day low. So once I got this volume and it pushed up through here, I actually added into it instead of partialing because I was like, there was good confirmation on the tape and the L2 and just it was just going. So I added into it. I did end up getting my first partial at previous day low and it set up this nice little range here, broke through that. I added into that. And then this is actually an area that I was watching on the higher time frame for my next partial. And then there was an area up here where I was kind of aiming for, which you can see after this. I actually added into it again, thinking we were going to get that move. And then when it lost this area, I hit all out just to maximize my profit. Would have also been, a good reversal as well off of this one. So both PayPal and Microsoft could have been played both ways today, just depending on what your strategy was. And if I take it really quickly I'll just show you this, why I was partialing at that area that I was partialing at near the top, is because we've kind of got this area here, right, on the 30-minute. So we've got this sort of range that's like been being tested, right? It's coming back, it's breaking through, we're back in it. So I was thinking I definitely want a partial here in case I can't get into the range. And then when it got into the range, that's why I added, because I thought like, oh, maybe we'll get to the top of this. It would still be within like a full ATR move of Microsoft, but the SPY just kind of stalled out. And at that point, like it rolled over and lost this level. And I was like, nah, I'll just get all out of this. It would have been a good play later in the day too. If we come back down to this level here, we're at the level, right? So here's the level. It tested it a couple times, could have got a couple plays off of that. And then when the market was doing this and then some more news came out and the market sold off. And that's right when this lost this level. So this could have been when the market finally did something, you could have taken another trade off of this at that level. So that would have been good. And then I took one more trade that I just hit out at break even on because I didn't like how slow it was moving. But we've got AAL here. So we've got this nice little range on AAL. It lost it, came back, tried to test it, couldn't get through it. Now it's back at it again. And so I'm interested to see how it's gonna react there. And if I take it over to like the 5 or maybe even the 2, I like that it was struggling to get above this area, and I believe R3 was up here too. So I was like, okay, I've got a couple things working for me. I entered in here thinking maybe we'd at least get a move to 1880. And then, maybe we would get a little bit of a further move closer to 1850. The market was still kind of doing this though. So it couldn't get going. And when it popped back up here, my all out is, right here. It hit out at break even. And then of course, a little bit later, some news on the market news came out and, the rate increase or something like that. So the market sold off and it finally took AL with it, but that's all right. I had 2 good trades on Microsoft and PayPal, so I was like, then no big deal. I'd rather just get out at break even rather than risk it, because we could, if the market hadn't done anything at all, we could have just been here all day, and that was just such a waste of my time. But yeah, so good, decent day on a couple stocks. It was fun. I love it when something wacky and wild comes out in the morning and gives us some moves. So yeah, overall a good day, and hopefully you guys had a good day too. And I will catch you later. Peace.